In Paraguay, it's better to swim during the rainy season because at that time the piranhas keep a low profile. However, they're still there. This man faces danger and hard work every day, so these fish won't stop him from getting his daily exercise, especially considering the ordeal that awaits him.
No es fácil porque el agua, la corriente es muy fuerte. Entonces eso es lo que me gusta a mí para hacer esfuerzo físico de la mañana.
Keeping fit is necessary in this region of Paraguay. The Chaco is perhaps one of the only remaining Wild Wests.
Ahora estamos a 2 cuadras y ya estamos teniendo problemas. Está diciendo por nosotros que somos locos para salir con esta lluvia.
This trucker is one of the few people who drives during the rainy season. As such, his courage has earned him a nickname from the locals.
Tiene que tener espíritu sufrido y por esa razón la gente me llama que como la cubierta Michelin, que es una que aguanta mucho. Entonces por esa razón me llaman Michelin y me quedo ahí.
The puncture-proof Michelin. At 67, he's still working as much as when he started out. Well, maybe this has something to do with the fact that he doesn't receive any pension. Since the age of 17, he's been transporting goods. He sometimes finds it hard to believe that he's still involved in this job. Life is so dangerous in the Chaco that even changing a tire already means you're taking risks. The jaguars are never far away. Michelin never goes out without his guardian angel.
En cualquier momento sale animales así, generalmente yo ando solo por ahí, entonces cualquier cosa para defender uno, solamente para eso. Mi trabajo no es fácil, tiene que tener mucha fuerza de voluntad porque todo es sacrificado. Me gusta, me encanta mi trabajo, me encanta, toda una aventura para mí.
Once again, adventure certainly won't be lacking. Michelin leaves to collect a large load of fertilizer, but the Chaco has a personality of its own. The region is not conquered easily. Living in the Chaco is an everyday struggle. This wild region occupies half of the country, and yet there's only 1 inhabitant per kilometre squared. More than anything, it's a haven for animals, indigenous tribes, and reckless cowboys. Some fight to prove their strength on the backs of animals weighing over 600 kilograms, monsters who don't allow for any errors. On the Chaco's roads, it's not uncommon to meet other monsters, but this time they're mechanical. Fatal machines which often end up with 4 wheels in the air. The region's climate is extreme. Depending on the season, the temperature can range from 0 to 50 degrees without taking into account the torrential rain.
Mucha complicación acá. No hay tractor cerca, el camino está muy destruido. El Chaco elige quién pasa al Chaco.
Paraguay is a land of contrasts. Modern cities are hidden behind the jungles, but odd jobs are always available as a way of stemming unemployment. Some traders even offer you a Parisian shopping experience. Yet, some people seek to escape the hustle and bustle and modernity of the city. Among the Mennonites, the clock seems to be stuck in the 18th century. They live cut off from the world and they marry only each other.
No tenemos internet, no tenemos también televisión, no tenemos también teléfono, no permite nuestras religiones.
In the indigenous language, Paraguay means to crown, perhaps because since the 16th century the country has become a land of miracles. In the Chaco, the tracks are essentially flat, so when you look at them they seem easy, almost pleasant. Yet it is just a facade.
Tenés que tener juego de muñeca para...
For drivers like Michelin, every kilometre is a struggle.
Nadie te da nada. Todo no es fácil.
It must be said that there are many obstacles.
Y eso es la astucia del chaqueño, se busca forma para salir de esto.
Finally, as he progresses, his old vehicle becomes almost uncontrollable.
Muy difícil. Si la huella se pierde ahí, ya no vamos en la cuneta.
Usually it takes Michelin 8 hours to travel the 280 kilometres that separates him from Lomo del Plata, where his load of fertiliser is located. But today it's another story, for the rain has transformed the track into an ice rink.
En la banquina es así. En la banquina, entonces no, una parte no sube. Medio va atravesado. Ahí está.
He's only gone 10 kilometres.
Conmigo nunca fue fácil. Todo el día es una lucha constante. Tengo muchos hijos, tengo que mantenerle a ellos.
7 mouths to feed. This is his motivation to carry on. In the middle of the afternoon, Michelin hits the 15-kilometre mark, struggling. He'd rather give up here because spending the night in the Chaco is much too dangerous.
Voy a ir en casa ya que estoy cerca todavía, 15 kilómetros, y voy a ir a pie y después voy a continuar mi viaje. Y chauche.
After 7 hours of driving, he sets off back to his point of departure. The Chaco region is hardly a small paradise, well, except for the aardvark, a giant anteater, or the maned wolf, whose slim body allows it to sneak into the thick bushes. In this forest, the temperature goes from 0 in winter to 50 degrees in summer. The plants have also had to adapt. Like the bottle tree, whose trunk isn't this shape just by chance, it serves as a water tank to fight against drought. Despite this inhospitable climate, peculiar colonies of men and women settle here, and as a result of their actions, the forest is disappearing, giving way to huge fields. These farmers seem as though they were straight out of an episode of Little House on the Prairie. It's as if time has frozen in the past for these people. Contrary to most Paraguayans, the majority of these people are blond with blue eyes, and they all speak a strange dialect. More precisely, from ancient Germany. We are with the Mennonites, Protestant Christians who originate from Switzerland, Germany and Alsace. Mennonites dedicate their life to God and reject every form of modern society. Their outfits date from the 18th century, as do their family ideals, meaning that they are large, very large, like Jorge's.
Ese es mi hijo Jorge con 17 años, Juancito con 5 años, mi esposa Elena con 16 años, 15 años, Margarita con 13, María con 12 y Ana con 9.
Una familia grande.
Está bien, eso sí, pero cuando crecen todos hay más que trabaja.
And they begin at a very young age. From the age of 7, Jorge replaces games with work. Notably, in order not to depart from ancestral tradition, most Orthodox Mennonites, like Jorge, do not use any agricultural machinery.
Nosotros producimos como 45 litros la mañana y la tarde. Desde chico nomás se aprende. Mi mamá. Yo vi cómo hacía ella y le hice yo también.
Group spirit and their faith in Almighty God alleviate the austere way of life.
Vamos. La iglesia. Cada domingo.
Jorge and his community reject anything that could turn them away from God's work.
No tenemos internet, no tenemos también televisión, no tenemos también teléfono, no permite nuestra religión. Vos sabés que hay muchas cosas malas en el internet.
¿Y las malas cosas qué serían, por ejemplo?
¿No sabés? Las cosas que no es bueno mirar.
Despite appearances, Mennonites keep far away from sects. Their story began in 1536 when, as pacifists, they refused to participate in the wars ravaging Europe. Threatened with persecution, they fled to Canada, Bolivia and Argentina. Paraguay is home to the youngest Mennonite colony, dating to 1927. Today there are almost 30,000 of them. A simple life where each person wears the same clothes to avoid any external signs of richness. Only the pastor is distinguishable. Church is perhaps their only moment of relaxation. These women are not dressed in purple just for style, it's a sign that they are celibate. Welcoming yet suspicious, they've forbidden us from filming Mass and the pastor's sermon. These men and women have all received the same upbringing and the same world vision imposed by their church. It's difficult for them to think otherwise. All the settlements even have their own school. classes are taught in their language, a form of ancient German. Henrik also teaches Spanish and maths, all the while linking each lesson back to God.
Pai. Jij I sai hoglei and I asnes can and can o I. La escuela sirve para creer más a Dios y esa cosa, para entender la Biblia y todo como dice y cómo tenemos que andar acá. Nosotros tenemos de siempre así todavía, no sé, de antes no sé, pero ahora no manda nadie. Nosotros sabemos todo como tenemos y andamos nomás.
¿Qué es la diferencia entre una escuela normal y una escuela menonita?
¿Qué es la diferencia? Yo? No sé también. Nunca no fui todavía en la escuela de los paraguayos así. Acá nomás con los menonitas, no sé cómo está.
In this village, the boys leave school at 15 and the girls at 12. But times are changing, and certain communities now permit children to enroll in higher education, buy cars, televisions, and even allow the internet. The Nuevo Durango settlement is one of the country's most conservative. However, seeds of change are growing even here. Recently, wooden wheels have been replaced by tires. And César is not pleased.
Pero ya somos pocos los que reservamos esa tradición. Ya muchos cambiaron a rueda de goma y al automóvil y todo. Pero nosotros somos una de las colonias que todavía tenemos la tradición de ir en carrito de caballo.
¿Y por qué eso?
Es la tradición. El que no quiera, pues tiene libertad para salir. No es que está atado acá.
Mennonites are opening themselves up to the world little by little, even if they continue to only marry each other. Paraguayans have accepted these communities. Often in the Chaco, it's better to be united. Extreme weather doesn't spare anyone. Michelin, the driver who abandoned his lorry on the track when he could no longer progress, is preparing himself a hearty breakfast before returning to face the treacherous road.
Oh, bien gordo, ¿eh? Aquí en Paraguay se come mucho asado, ¿eh? Es una tradición. Al menos en Paraguay no está bien barato todavía. La gente más pobre igual nomás come acá mucho asado.
Meat is cheaper than vegetables here.
La comida.
Michelin lives with his wife, 2 daughters, their husbands and their children. That's 7 children in the house in total. Maria, his wife, would like her husband to change job.
Él lo llaman por teléfono, ahí ya que le llaman. Al menos cuando muchos rechazan, cuando llueve, ahí a él, solamente a Michelin se le llama cuando llueve, porque él es el único que es loco y avanza el Chaco. Entonces ya empiezan a llamarle a él para ir a trabajar. Se va, es un loco, se va.
But Michelin cannot afford to refuse. He must continue, whatever the challenges may be. The previous day, because of the mud, he had to abandon his lorry on the edge of the road. This time, he's retrying his luck with his neighbours. Equipped with a 4x4, they're going to escort him to the town to pick up his load of grain.
Tener problemas porque el vehículo 4x2 no está pushando los 4 ruedas. El vehículo, eso ya es muy caro, no está en mi capacidad para tener. Entonces me viro como se pueda, ¿entendés? Es una sobrevivencia para mí.
failing a second time is out of the question, so Michelin fits chains onto the lorry's tyres. The chains and the help of his neighbour's 4x4 far from guarantee that the journey to the town, which is still 260 kilometres away, will be successful. And Gustavo is well aware of that.
El miedo es caerse a la banquina a un costado. Si uno va a un costado, cualquiera de ellos, volver a subir es bastante difícil.
After a few kilometres, Michelin's handmade chains finally give up.
El barro complica porque es parece engrudo. Molesta, cansa, pero yo no tengo otra opción, ese es mi sistema de vida. La vida sigue adelante y la única verdad es el trabajo. Nunca le robé a nadie, nunca le maté a nadie, entonces la conciencia tengo tranquilo. Y por acá está mojado, está patinando mucho, ¿no? Esta parte es que el agua agarra más de 2000 metros. Ahí ya no estiró la cuneta. Acá la verdad que no estiró en la cuneta y no echó. Entonces acá es muy difícil, con mucho trabajo vamos a salir. Solamente que un lado ya está en el agua mismo, en la cuneta mismo, entonces es muy difícil ahí. Ahora comenzó.
That's an understatement.
¿Ah? Porque es peligroso así de suelta. No va a salir ahí.
No, pero la parte seca tiene que agarrarlo, si no este te va a tirar ahí.
Eso, llévale.
Even with a four-wheel drive, the road remains as slippery as an ice rink.
Tu volante, quédate acá. Más. ¿Está libre?
It's too late. Both cars are stuck 200 kilometers from Lomo del Plata.
Ahora también él cayó ahí en la cuneta. Casi 50 centímetros.
6 hours of driving to make 60 kilometers. It seems that fate is not on Michelin's side. Even his neighbour's powerful 4x4 is stuck. The driver's going to have to use the shovel again. The Chaco's inhabitants can be surprising. No one gives up, no matter what is thrown at them. Like this driver, for example. He certainly doesn't lack imagination. His truck is a mechanical wonder.
Este no lleva turbo, pero como un turbo va.
And yes, Ruben has made it himself, completely by hand. He has nicknamed it Tumba Bus, which means lorry bus.
Es un bus. En el papel dice que es un bus, pero yo lo hice tumba bus. Así, mitad bus y mitad tumba.
Those who live in the region often see funny vehicles. Rubens catches a lot of attention, and even though the law doesn't really apply in the Chaco, he still avoids going through cities when he can.
Tengo accidente, no tengo seguro. Va todo a mi contra. Estoy en infracción. Toda la culpa va a ser mío. No estoy en regla. Pero si es por acá, nada, tranquilo. Pero para salir por la ruta principal ya no se puede. Es peligroso, ¿sí? Peligro. Pero ¿qué vamos a hacer? No se puede.
For Ruben, making this lorry was a question of survival. He's a blacksmith and his salary is capped at £10 per day. Now he also makes deliveries, and even though his vehicle is made out of odd materials, he complains when the carts are much slower than his own.
Traemos arena gorda, arena lavada, todo. Estiércol, pero hacemos todo.
It took him 6 months to assemble the spare parts of a lorry and a bus with his brother, but it was 10 times cheaper than buying a used one.
Este es del año 65, Mercedes 1113. Totalmente original. Radiador original. Depurador original. Bomba original. Este tiene, la marca sigue igual. No se ha tocado nada. Estos son originales. Todo lo que hay acá son originales. Menos esto, menos la carrocería. Entonces, cortamos y fabriqué esto. Freno, a veces no va bien y a veces bien.
Ruben has landed a cargo of sand to deliver. However, nothing is going to go to plan.
Una carga 170.000. Entonces después hay gasoil, después más o menos deja 60.000 de ganancia por viaje. Está un poco duro la arena.
So Ruben reveals that he's a bit of a thug. He steals the sand, but the owner, who's tired of seeing this hole grow, has been secretly monitoring his land and leaves his hiding place.
No. Hay problema, no quiere, hay que salir de acá. Porque no le gusta que entren, dice. Nos vamos.
For every clever person, there will always be someone more clever. Ruben will have to find another stone pit, but that's nothing compared to Michelin and his friends' trouble. The 4x4 and the truck are still stuck in the mud.
El tema no es esa huella, la huella del lado izquierdo de mi rueda al lado del chofer es el problema. Esa no va a montar.
Si no llega a montar, continuamos más recto.
No podemos descuidar tanto ahí para esa rueda, porque le está estirando allá es mucho más bajo. No, mestélenos. Estamos en el Chaco. No hay perdón acá. Mestélenos. No tenemos que enojarnos. De pochían. Estamos haciendo un lindo trabajo. Y todo depende de nuestro chofer Yaca.
Es ahora o nunca, así mismo, es ahora o nunca.
Y Dios quiera que funcione. Yo creo que ahí va a salir. Si es que nos sube ya ahí, quédate nomás ahí donde tu papá está.
Bueno, ¿está?
¿Estamos?
Dale.
Me doy a la derecha.
Con mucha adrenalina para tratar de salir. Tenemos que tomar la mayor velocidad posible.
Casi.
2 hours work for nothing. Now they will need to rely on a bigger machine to get them out, a tractor perhaps. But they don't work in the Chaco's forest. With a population of 1 person per kilometre squared, it's very hard to come by them, especially since the phone network is, let's say, almost non-existent. There are a lot of farmers in the area, however, and the farms are huge. Some are over 200 kilometres squared, and the cowboys who roam them rarely use the roads with their animals. We're at one of the country's largest ranches. Around 40 cowboys watch over an enormous herd of 11,000 cows. 11,000 animals to be cared for every day. In the Chaco's rainy season, parasites swarm and the cows are the first victims. Like this one with infected ears. It's a tough life. However, Pedro wouldn't change a thing.
Nosotros día a día tenemos que estar trabajando acá. Ese es el compromiso que tenemos. Pero ya estoy trabajando 18 años. Ahora tengo 30 y 33. Yo solo estoy acá. Novia recién tengo. Llegamos a un acuerdo. Por lo menos yo estoy trabajando acá y me gusta estar acá, ¿verdad? Sí. Mi trabajo es estar con el ganado, el que yo quiero hacer, ¿verdad? Sí, ahí mi novia quiere, me pregunta si para que yo me vaya, ¿verdad? Ya, a quedarme, pero por lo menos no, yo solamente hago este trabajo.
The cowboys are spread over 4 farms. It's not incredibly comfortable, but their boss lives by one rule. A cowboy who eats well is a happy cowboy. So he put a cook on every farm. But don't go looking for simple stews. Rosita makes robust, energizing food.
Carne todos los días. Porque con carne le alcanza más todo a los muchachos. Y sí o sí tiene que ser carne. A ellos les encanta la carne.
So there's boiled meat for breakfast, meat in sauce for lunch, and deep-fried meat with yucca, a potato-like vegetable, for dinner. It's not a very balanced diet, but they need protein to spend 8 hours on a horse.
Para cubrir del monte, para que nos rompa el pantalón y eso.
Emmanuel leads a dozen cowboys, and as the boss, he has 2 privileges. One is that he receives £600, which is 200 more than his men, and the other is that he gets a small house for himself where he can live alone.
Tengo mi familia. Está en Villa Choferes, cerca de Filadelfia. Y me voy cada 6 meses o 3 meses así. Y 15 días, a veces 20. Y me hace falta, pero están estudiando también por las criaturas. Y acostumbrado. Desde chicos estuve así trabajando. Con los compañeros acá hacemos compañía. Ahora por lo menos tenemos mucho trabajo porque teniendo hijos las vacas. Hay terneros, chicos.
Around 1,000 baby calves will be born in the coming weeks. The men live together on this huge farm for many months without ever seeing other people. But soon all of the Chaco Cowboys will meet for a contest. On the road, Michelin and Roberto are still trying to find signal, so that they can find a farmer who could get them out of this mess. Gustavo resigns himself to digging when...
George, Michelin. Puta merda, rapaz, estamos a tu lado aquí, frente de su facenda, rapaz. Estou aqui, venha socorrer, rapaz.
Ultimately, in the Chaco, time does not run at the same speed as the rest of the world. The tractor has taken 2 hours to get to them. Rescue. Nearly. Michelin's truck is completely stuck. There's one method left to try, making a little train. The 4x4 pulls the tractor, which pulls the truck.
Puta, mira, no. El tractor no consiguió tirar solo. Con la ayuda de la camioneta. Puta. Estaba fuerte.
Entonces la unión hace la fuerza para poder sacar el camión de Michelin. Si no era imposible.
The saying is the same all over the world. You can't get blood out of a stone. Michelin is still 100 kilometers away from Lomo del Plata. He abandons the effort for the second time.
Está muy feo, no da condición para ir. Entonces nos resignamos a ir en casa de nuevo. Yo creo que el Chaco es a gente que le gusta acción y la gente que se acobarda, no quiere saber nada del Chaco. Esa es la vida del Chaco.
Michelin will wait for the end of the rainy season, in 2 months, to travel to town. In the Chaco, it's better to use a good horse to get around. The Cowboys don't have any issues getting to their annual competition. Families finally get to meet up for a weekend to admire their fathers and husbands who are preparing to prove their honor in the arena. They compete for the title of the best vaquero, that is, the best cowboy in the area. Firstly, there is a team showdown. The men have to put cows on the ground, but it's far from over. They must also show off their lassoing ability, like a real-life Buffalo Bill. And the main event, taking place at night, The rodeo requires real preparation from the Cowboys. They take on bulls, or rather, mountains of muscle which exceed 800 kilograms. The aim is to spend at least 8 seconds on the beast's back. Juan is representing his father's farm. His fiancée is not best pleased, and she's got good reason for it, as Juan is a novice.
Calentamiento, un poco, para no tener una lección después o dolor de músculos, el cuerpo que sea un poco más ágil. Primera vez hoy. Estoy un poco nervioso, ansioso. Vamos a ver cómo es. Una prueba, superar miedos.
Christian doesn't know fear. He's a banker, but his family owns a ranch. He's already won the competition several times.
Todos los días actividad física. Uno tiene que tener fuerte el cuerpo. Los músculos son la única protección que tienen los huesos para no romper.
He perfectly recreates the movements. Last year, Christian was taken by surprise. A bull jumped in the air and Christian broke his leg, but that wasn't all.
Estuve lesionado por unos cuantos meses y ahora estoy volviendo otra vez. Sí, así nomás el deporte. Huesos rotos, ligamentos destrozados. La vida de un deporte extremo. Es muy peligroso. Nosotros nunca sabemos si vamos a volver con vida de ahí. Pero somos unos aficionados a la adrenalina y trabajamos duro para poder hacer esto lo que estamos haciendo. Es una resina de abeja. Es un pegamento para que no resbale de la mano para que esto no resbale la mano.
Atención, en la compuerta 3 se va a abrir enseguida. Y enseguida entra Christian Alderete.
Since his latest accident, Christian no longer takes any risks. He protects his vital organs with a helmet and a reinforced jacket. Wearing this protection was sensible, as the rider is thrown off after 5 seconds.
Los 8 segundos de gloria. Hubo un desentendido en el momento de la partida y lastimosamente no pude cumplir con lo que quería cumplir, pero hice lo mejor que pude.
Their posture must be different to how it is on horseback. The Cowboys stretch themselves to reduce the kicks.
Tienen miedo, pero cuando dicen sí, la sangre empieza a latir más fuerte y uno empieza a concentrarse mucho más y está la adrenalina fuerte y eso le permite a ellos aguantar, ¿verdad? 8 segundos es poco, pero estar encima de un ejemplar que tiene 700, 800 kilos, eso es mucho, eso no todos logran, ¿eh?
Now it's Juan's turn. It's the first time he's taken part in a competition, but he wants to do it in style without a helmet.
Porque él hace no es el estilo americano, por eso usa el sombrero. Sí, nerviosismo, sí.
Is this beginner's luck or a much calmer bull? Juan has managed the 8 seconds.
Era más fácil que pensé. Pensaba que iba a hacer más fuerza el toro, pero no saltó tanto como los otros. Acá los muchachos sufrieron más que yo. Da gusto, pero para hoy es suficiente.
In contrast to last year, there have been no injuries this weekend. here are some calmer cows, at least in appearance. For the time being, they're moving slowly, but when going downhill, it can be quite scary. Carried by the weight of the carts, the animals speed up, and at that point, you need to know how to use the reins and have a few extra hands to control them.
Un poco peligroso. Cuidado. Cuando caga, por ejemplo, se resbala y se cae. Ese es el problema, que hay que ayudarle únicamente para bajar.
2 weeks before Christmas, hundreds of teams head towards the Car Coupe Basilica.
Fuerza mano, fuerza mano.
Geraldo has been doing this pilgrimage since his childhood.
Todos los años mandamos la promesa para venir junto a la Virgen, así en caravana, con carreta. Prácticamente estamos 150 a 200, ponerle. Una familia completa. Y hay gente que nos sigue también la tradición. Y la tradición nunca va a terminar.
300,000 believers come to pray for Our Lady of Miracles. The history dates back to the 16th century, where an indigenous Paraguayan who had converted to Catholicism sculpted a statue of the Virgin to thank her for having saved him from a massacre. Since this day, Paraguayans attribute numerous miracles to this statue. Geraldo has never seen a miracle, but he firmly believes in it.
Tenemos 100% no queremos a la Virgen. Lo que nos dan, fuerza y salud.
La protección de la Virgen María, porque recibieron al autor de la vida. Amén. Y todos ustedes, reunidos para celebrar con amor.
Hay que mostrar el sufrimiento que nosotros pasamos, le pedimos y le rogamos siempre a la Virgen para que nos lleve bien.
Amén. Y el pueblo de Dios a sus casas.
La mayoría de la gente enferma manda su promesa y viene acá. Hay que tiene cáncer, se cura el cáncer.
Aquí celestial princesa, Virgen Sagrada María, yo te ofrezco en este día. Amén.
Hacemos esa colaboración para pagarle también a la gente que no puede. Hay gente que no trabaja, hay gente pobre. Para eso juntamos nosotros la plata para gastar.
Ruega por nosotros, pecadores, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén.
Each person is waiting for a sign, a healing, a divine intervention, but all Paraguayans know that the true miracles are what they achieve every day in order to move forwards.